It's 7:14 p.m. You've just gotten home from the longest day. You kneel down, arms open, ready for the hug you've been picturing since lunchtime. Your baby looks at you, then twists, reaches past you, and cries for the other parent. Not playfully, desperately, like you're the wrong person. And in that second, even though you know, intellectually, that you're their parent, that you love them, that they love you, something cracks a little inside your chest. If this has been happening in your house, I need you to hear something before we go one word further. Your baby is not rejecting you. They are not punishing you. They are not telling you that you're a bad parent. They are doing something that every developmental psychologist and pediatric researcher has seen thousands of times, and it has a name, and it's called parental preference. And once you understand what's actually happening inside their tiny nervous system, the sting goes away. Let's name it clearly, because I know some of you have been Googling this at 11 p.m. with a pit in your stomach. Your baby, somewhere between 6 months and 3 years old, has started insisting on one parent. Maybe they only want mom to put them to bed. Maybe they scream when dad picks them up from the crib. Maybe they'll take a bottle from grandma but melt down the second you try. You're not imagining it. It's not a bad week. It's a real, documented developmental pattern. Research in attachment theory. The body of work that started with John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth and has been refined for over 60 years. Shows that babies don't love their parents equally at every stage, and they go through phases where one caregiver becomes what researchers call the primary secure base, and that base can shift. Sometimes weekly. Sometimes it lasts a year. The problem is that nobody tells parents this, so the parent who's suddenly not chosen starts to feel invisible, and the parent who is chosen starts to feel exhausted and trapped. And neither of you knows that this is, in many ways, one of the healthiest signs in early development. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 4 real psychological reasons your baby prefers one parent right now, what each preference is actually communicating about their inner world, and exactly what to do so that the non-preferred parent doesn't stay non-preferred forever. By the end, you'll stop taking it personally, and you'll know how to respond in a way that strengthens both bonds at the same time. Reason 1, their nervous system is looking for predictability, not love. Here's the first thing to understand. When a baby picks one parent, they are almost never making a statement about love. They're making a statement about regulation. A baby's nervous system, up until about age 3, is what we call co-regulated, meaning they cannot calm themselves down on their own. They borrow calm from the adult nearest to them, and the brain, being an incredibly efficient organ, learns very quickly which adult calms me down the fastest. Whichever parent spent the last 6 weeks doing bedtime, or night feedings, or the after-nap meltdown, that parent becomes the nervous system's shortcut to safety. Picture this, and Marcus has been home with baby Ivy for 2 months on parental leave. He does the bath. He does the bedtime song. He knows she likes the left shoulder, not the right. When his partner Aisha comes home from a conference, Ivy screams when Aisha tries to hold her. Aisha is gutted. But here's what's actually happening in Ivy's brain. Aisha is not less loved. She's less patterned. Ivy's system is saying, I know exactly how Marcus's arms feel when I'm tired. I don't have that prediction for you yet. And right now, I need prediction more than I need novelty. The tip. If you are the non-preferred parent, don't approach during dysregulated moments. Approach during play. You don't rebuild a preference during a meltdown. You rebuild it during popsicles and peekaboo. Reason 2. They are practicing attachment, not choosing between you. Now, and this next one might surprise you, babies between about 8 and 18 months go through something researchers call focused attachment. This is the stage where they form a specific, intense bond with one caregiver before they generalize that skill to others. It's not a bug. It's a feature. Think of it the way a baby learns to walk. First, They take one step toward one specific piece of furniture. Not the whole room. One anchor. Then, after they've mastered the confidence of that one short distance, they start walking between two pieces of furniture. Then three. Attachment works the same way. They get really good at trusting one person first. Then they expand outward. So if your baby is in a one-parent phase, they're not saying, "I don't want you." They're saying, "I'm currently mastering the skill of deep attachment. Thanks, and I have to do it with the parent whose pattern is most familiar. I'll come back for you next." For the parent who is being chosen, I see you too. It can feel relentless. You haven't peed alone in 5 months. You feel like you can't hand them off, ever. That feeling is real, and it's not your imagination. You are your baby's current anchor, and anchors are heavy. Reason 3. Big transitions tighten the grip. Here's where it gets really interesting. If your baby's preference just suddenly intensified in the last few weeks, I want you to think back. Did anything change? A new sibling? A move? A daycare start? A parent going back to work? A grandparent visiting? Even something as small as a schedule shift, dinner at 6 instead of 5:30, can send a toddler running to their preferred parent, like their life depends on it. Or in developmental psychology, we call this attachment regression. When the environment destabilizes, the nervous system reaches for the most familiar anchor. It's the emotional equivalent of grabbing the railing when the floor shakes. The preferred parent is the railing. It doesn't mean the other parent is the shaking floor. It means the preferred parent is the object of certainty in a world that just got uncertain. Here's what to do. If you're the non-preferred parent during a transition, do not interpret the rejection as permanent. Instead, do what I call parallel presence. Sit near. Don't insist on contact. Read a book 2 feet from them. Be reliably around without demanding. The baby's body, over days, will reclassify you from stranger in the safety circle back to trusted member. And this works. And I've watched it work in my practice dozens of times. Within 10 to 14 days of consistent, low-pressure presence, the preference softens. Reason 4. They are testing what is safe enough to reject. Now this is the one almost no parent has ever heard, and it's the one that changes everything. Here's the paradox of secure attachment. A baby will only reject the parent they feel safest with. If you are the non-preferred parent this week, there's a decent chance that's because your baby trusts your love so completely that they know they can push you away without losing you. Let me say that again, because it's important. Rejection, in toddlers, is often a measurement of safety. The parent they're most difficult with is often the parent they're most certain of. It's the parent they spent the first year bonding to. And it's the parent who feels so permanent to them that they can finally afford to fall apart in front of. Picture a child named Noah, almost 2. All day at daycare, he's pleasant. He eats his snack. He naps. The teachers say he's easy. The moment his dad Jordan picks him up, he melts into a puddle of rage and tears in the parking lot. Jordan thinks, "What am I doing wrong?" Nothing. Noah has been holding it together for 9 hours because daycare doesn't feel safe enough to collapse in. The second he sees Jordan, the safest person in his world, his nervous system says, "Okay, we can finally let go now." The rage isn't rejection of Jordan. It's the purest form of trust Noah knows how to offer. So when you are the parent who gets the worst behavior, the bedtime fights, the dinner refusal, and the full-body tantrum over the wrong cup, you might not be the rejected one. You might be the chosen one in disguise. I want you to let this sink in for a second, because I know some of you have been carrying this heavy for months. When your baby reaches past you, when they cry for the other parent, when they push you away at bedtime, that is not a verdict on your worth as a parent. It is not evidence that you have failed to bond. It is not proof that you don't matter. It is a tiny human nervous system doing exactly what it's supposed to do at exactly this age. It is the sound of a baby practicing attachment, It is the sound of a baby trying to regulate a body that doesn't know how yet. It is the sound of a baby who is sometimes telling you you are so safe to me, that I can let all of this out on you, and other times telling you I just need the familiar arms right now, because the world is big. Your baby is not choosing between you. Your baby does not have the cognitive equipment to choose between you. What they have is a body that is looking for rhythm, and a heart that, over the long arc of childhood, will find its way back to you again and again and again. Your bond is not being measured in this phase. It's being built in this phase. Every time you stay calm when you are not chosen, every time you offer presence without pressure, every time you resist the urge to take it personally, you are building the kind of secure relationship that will carry this child through adolescence and beyond. You are not the backup parent. You are the long game. If this video helped you see your baby's preference differently, if even one moment of it took a little weight off your chest, hit subscribe. I post every week about the real psychology behind parenting's hardest moments, the ones nobody prepares you for. And I want to hear from you in the comments. When did your baby's preference hit the hardest? And which parent were you in that season? The chosen one, or the one reaching with empty arms? Tell me your story. I read every single one.